What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. Today we're going to talk about Aero, aka Miss Fun, and this is one beautiful, beautiful looking character. And I was pretty hyped up, knowing that she was going to get a uniform for this update. But I got to tell you, I find her pretty much underwhelming, especially for a paywall character. I mean, and that's kind of the thing about a character like this: the fact that she's a paywall, and you got to spend your hard-earned money to get her, and then you got to spend your hard-earned money to get bios, unless you have a mega rank-up ticket lying around. For her, she's a pretty expensive character to level up, so your expectations are a lot higher than what it is for normal characters, and I just don't think she really lives up to that standard. I mean, this uniform is better. They did a lot of things for her. They gave her a heal on her third skill. They increased her accumulation from 0.5% to 0.9%, which is nice. That's awesome. And you can instantly cancel this third skill, whereas before you had to let it play out a little bit, so that actually helped her survivability also on top of the heal. They also gave her immunity on her fourth skill, which she didn't have before, and on her uniform effect, they gave her decreased basic damage received by 30%. So they increased her survivability by a large margin. They increased her damage by giving her the damage accumulation. However, the character just, I mean, she's proc friendly if you play her in a safe way, right? Like if you just hit the 3 and then go straight into the 5, you're good to go, right? And you can put the proc on the 5 every time and you're good to go. But here's the thing that I want you all to notice. Whenever you hit the third skill, she'll jump up and slam down, and you'll notice a lot of residual damage coming from this skill. Now, once she slams down, you'll see that wind shooting out in front of her, right? If you cancel that skill, you don't get that. You don't get that, right? And that's kind of a bum deal, right? So whenever you're playing with her, if you're really trying to get the most out of the character, you would want to hit the 3, slam down, then go into the 5, and get both of those skills all at the same time. Is really what you would want. The other thing about her that's kind of annoying is her fourth skill. So her fourth skill does this little number, right? But you can't, and you get that ball, and there's lots of residual, it does lots of hits, right? But the thing is, once you cancel that skill, you don't get it. You gotta let it play out a little bit. Right? As soon as she throws a little ball up in the air, that's when you can actually cancel that skill. And the thing is, she's doing hits before she does that. So she can actually set off the proc. So, I mean, she's proc friendly if you're just doing 3, cancel into the 5. What I like to do is I like to do the 3, jump down, try to get a little extra residual damage, then go into the 5. But that's a little risky because sometimes the third skill does set off the proc. If you're trying to play her safe, then you'd want to just go 3, 5. I use the 4, but I only use the 4 for immunity. I don't really try to set off the ball because here's the thing. If you let that 4 play off and you shoot off that ball, by the time your cooldown proc is ready to go again, that thing will actually set off your proc. So if you go 3, slam down, go into the 5, right? Put your proc on the 5, and then hurry up and go into the 4, and then throw up this ball, that ball will actually set off the proc again. So I actually actively avoid using it because I really like trying to keep the proc where it belongs. Now, something that's pretty awesome about Aero is, like the other Atlas characters, you can actually cancel the Awaken skill super fast, which is awesome. And you get all of that damage all at once. That is dope. That is dope. It's really awesome in cancel. I mean, I do wonder how strong they would be. And obviously in regular world boss, she's going to be pretty strong because her awakened skill does have all defense down and goes up to 70%. And it starts off at 10%. So only got to do 7 hits. And she does a whole lot of hits. So she's going to stack up to 70% in no time. And the fact that this character does have the leadership tag means they can use White Fox leadership, that all debuff effect by 40%, and the extra damage to super villains, which is nice. And as far as looking at this page, most of the stats are pretty much maxed out, except for the critical rate, but that's actually going to get maxed out from her 5th skill. She does have a Urus. She has a stage 6 power rank real access. She's got a critical damage with 140% damage proc. And then the uniform is at normal. And, it's just one of those characters that I really love Aero. I think she's an awesome character. But I do think, I don't think she's super difficult to play. I just think if you want to get the most out of her playing wise, you'd probably want to rage on her, because then you could use the 4th skill, you could get the ball up, you could do the 3rd skill, you could do the 5th skill, and you wouldn't have to worry about, trying to time that proc or the proc setting off early, because if it does set off early, you're going to lose a lot of damage. So we're going to be using an OP team. I do have 13% Pierce on my account. White Fox leadership, and then we got Nick Fury for the 55% damage dealt to super villains. And we're not going to use any strikers. Now, her survivability is way better in this uniform. It is. It's so much better, right? And she's going to be better in AC because of that as well, if that's something you're interested in. You know, having that decreased damage received on a uniform, having the heal, having the extra immunity, it's going to make her better. So I'm going to try to slam down. And then we go into the 5. And then, see right there? The procs it up early. Now, what I'm doing here is I just use the 4 as a survivability tool. So I'll do the 3, slam down, go into the 5. As soon as it finishes, I hit the 4, and then I go into the 1. You could use the 2, but the 2 does a lot of lingering damage, so I try not to do it. And you get an idea of how strong she is, and it's okay. It's nothing spectacular. Something that is nice is her third skill actually has really good range on it. So that's actually really nice. Now I'm using that 4 when I slam down because I'm trying to increase her survivability. And we're going to wait a little bit because we want to apply that all defense down. Something else to note is if you are playing with Aero, if you do the third skill up close, a lot of times she will set off the proc early. If you do it far away, it doesn't seem like it does. It actually seems like it's easier to keep the proc where it belongs because she does some hits up close whenever she does that thing. So you see how I'm standing far away, and then I slam down, and I go into the 5th skill. Alright, and then we go into the 4, use our immunity, and then we just use the 1 to cancel out of the 4. If you don't do that, see right there? When I did the third skill up close, it actually set the proc up early. And it does that often. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and get back here. Actually, I could have went in there because I do have super armor. And as she's falling down, you want to use that immunity. But, I mean, right now, we are falling behind. Even with this OP team. And again, I say this in all these videos. I know the build isn't super strong or anything like that, but on my account, there are quite a few characters with these kinds of builds that can do super, super well. I mean, they can melt this, and she just isn't quite doing it. And for a paywall character, I really would expect more. I mean, you know, and it's like I said earlier, you know, you're going to have higher expectations for paywalls. But as you can see, you can keep her alive. You can keep the proc where it belongs for the most part. Again, you know, you want to be at a distance when you use that third skill. And that's something else, by the way. Sometimes when you do the third skill and you're slammed down, Cole was swinging his axe around. Whenever you're coming down, you are vulnerable. So you got to be careful of that. That's another reason why maybe canceling the 3 into the 5 would be better. Because it would actually increase your survivability. But, I mean, down to almost the 10th bar and 2 minutes and 20 seconds. That's a pretty long time. You know, it's just not as good as it should be. Her damage really should be a little bit better. And obviously with the Awaken skill, it's going to be better. She's going to have the extra stats. She's going to have the all defense down. She's going to be a lot better, right? I mean, really, I think the only reason people would build Aero is because she'd probably be a waifu. I think that's the only reason they would really want to build her. As far as her power levels and where her utility lies, it's really not that good in the game, honestly. Like I said, she's going to be better in AC. If that's something you're concerned about, yeah, I mean, she's going to be better in AC because of the extra immunity, the survivability, the heal, the decreased damage received, and a uniform effect. She's got more damage, right? She's easier to play. Those are some good things. But it really isn't enough, especially for a character that you got to pay real money for. And on top of that, you got to pay real money to level up her uniform, which is a real bummer, right? So I really can't recommend the uniform for anybody to buy. But if she's waifu for you, then of course, go ahead and buy. You should always build the characters that you love and enjoy. So let me know how you're all feeling about Aero. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.